Hello and welcome back to Johnnie Bennie Campus News, your go-to channel for updates on campus life and events. I'm Ben Bugbee.
And I'm Daisha Gray. Now let's get into this week's top stories.
This Friday, March 22nd, from 7 to 9 p.m. at Guild Hall here at SJU, the Center for Student Leadership and Engagement presents March Madness's Minute to Win It. Join in on the excitement as teams of two compete in 10 thrilling events. Prizes await the top 3 teams, with the first place snagging two $50 Buffalo Wild Wing gift cards, whereas second place is earning two $25 Shields gift cards, and third place walking away with $15 Gary's Pizzas gift cards. Don't miss out on the fun.
This Friday, March 22nd, between 12 and 1 p.m. at Alcuin Library, SJU, swing by for a complimentary popcorn session courtesy of CSB SJU Libraries. Whether you're hitting the books or just looking for a quick snack break, grab some popcorn on the house and enjoy.
This Saturday, March 23rd, don't miss the chance to support a great cause at the Benny Buddies Clothing Drive Drop-Off, taking place all day at Lower Gretzky 120 at CSB. With items priced at $7 or less, it's a perfect opportunity to shop while giving back to the community. Remember to bring your gently used clothes to one of the designated drop-off bins located in Gretzky Fireside, Lottie and Margaretta Hall, Leutner Apartments, and Mary Commons. Your contributions will make a huge difference.
This Sunday, March 24th at 1 p.m. in Sullivan Auditorium 170, Alcuin Library, SJU, CSB SJU Libraries is hosting an afternoon movie matinee. Enjoy timeless classics, House on Haunted Hill, and Night of the Living Dead in a relaxed atmosphere. It's a perfect opportunity to unwind and immerse yourself in cinematic history.
Mark your calendars for March 27th at 5 p.m. on Simmons' 3rd floor at SJU for a unique event, LinkedIn and Lemonade, plus Crumble Cookie. Join us as the guest speaker, John Weld, shares expert insights on optimizing your LinkedIn profile, offering actionable strategies to enhance your networking opportunities. Plus, enjoy complimentary Crumble Cookies while you learn. Don't miss out. Register now to secure your spot. Now turning our attention to the weather. Let's get the latest updates from Landon Monio for the Johnnie Bennie Weekend Weather Report.
Thanks, Ben and Daisha, and welcome back to the Johnnie Bennie Weekend Weather Report. I'm Landon Monio, your weather reporter. Let's dive right in. 2 separate storms are expected to bring heavy snowfall to central and southern Minnesota this weekend and into next week. The first storm will push into western Minnesota by mid-Thursday. The main snowfall is expected after Thursday night, around 3 to 6 inches. The second storm is forecasted to be larger and wetter snowfall in a mix of snow, sleet, and rain. Friday starts off cloudy and gradually becomes mostly sunny with a high of 31 degrees. There will be a 30% chance of snow, mainly before 7 a.m. We can expect northeast winds of 10 to 15 miles per hour. Friday night will be mostly clear and temperatures will drop to 10 degrees. Saturday's high is 28 degrees with an increasing chance of clouds and a 30% chance of snow after 1 p.m. Saturday night has a 60% chance of snow, mainly after 1 a.m. Cloudy skies will persist with a low near 21 degrees. To wrap up the weekend, Sunday brings heavy snow after 11 a.m. Temperatures will reach a high near 32 degrees. Expect a breezy eastern wind at speeds of 20 miles per hour with 30 miles per hour gusts. On Sunday night, the heavy snow continues with a 90% chance of snowfall and temperatures will drop to 26 degrees. The eastern wind will continue with speeds of 20 to 25 miles per hour and 35 miles per hour gusts. That's all for this weekend's weather. I'm Landon Monio and this has been your Johnnie Bennie Campus News Weekend Weather Report. Remember to be safe, stay warm, and have a fantastic weekend.
Thanks as always, Landon. I am so excited to see that this weekend we will have snow. I can't wait to make some snow angels and all of the good things.
Oh, goodness gracious, Daisha. I tell you, those of us that are from Minnesota, I think have enjoyed the reprieve that we've gotten from the blizzardy conditions that we typically have to deal with. But on another note, shifting gears, let's head over to our sports reporters, Brendan and Chloe, who will bring you the latest highlights in the world of Johnnie Bennie sports this week.
Thanks, Ben. I'm Brendan Amaris.
And I'm Chloe Moore.
And welcome back to the Johnnie Bennie Sports Roundup, your source for updates on Johnnie and Bennie sports.
Bennie Lacrosse and Johnnie Baseball were the only teams in action since last Thursday, in what was quite a week for both CSB and SJU sports. But Brendan will start us off with a recap of Bennie Lacrosse's big win on the road against Hamlin last night in St. Paul.
That's right, Chloe. The Bennies got back to winning ways with a 16-6 win last night. The victory ended the Pipers' 5-game win streak. The win was powered by a 5-goal performance from sophomore Grace Fitzgibbons, who now has 8 goals on the season and 34 total in her career. It was her second multi-goal game of the season and the 9th of her career. First year, Emma Nelson had her second hat trick of the season. The senior from Stillwater, Minnesota, now has 10 points on the year. In goal, sophomore Chloe Lewis recorded 9 saves on 21 shots faced. The Bennies will have plenty of time to refuel before their next game, which isn't until March 30th against Elmhurst University in Illinois. That wraps up Bennie Sports for this week. Now Chloe will give you a preview of Bennie teams in action over the next few days.
Thanks, Brendan. There's plenty to look out for this weekend as CSB Tennis takes on St. Scholastica up in Duluth at 1 p.m. on Saturday. Later on Saturday afternoon, Bennie Softball has a doubleheader against Coe College in St. Cloud. The first game is at 5 p.m., and then depending on when that ends, the second should start around 7. Next, Brendan will tell you about SJU Baseball's trip to Arizona last weekend, where they went 2-2.
The Johnnies' trip to Tucson started off well last Saturday with a 12-6 win over NAIA opponent Sagu American Indian College. The game was all tied up at 6 at the end of the 4th inning after senior third baseman Joe Becker continued his outstanding season with a 2-run bomb. In his next at-bat in the 6th inning, Becker doubled with 2 outs and would score what would end up being the game-winning run after Jordan Amundsen hit an RBI single. The Johnnies then pulled away, scoring 2 more runs in the 7th and 3 in the 8th. Senior pitcher Quinn Kruger picked up his first win of the season in relief as he allowed 2 hits and struck out 7 batters in the final 5.2 scoreless innings. On Sunday, the Johnnies split a doubleheader versus Wesleyan University. In Game 1, the Johnnies found themselves down 5-0 heading into the bottom of the 7th. They rallied to get on the board after junior catcher Blake Melgren drove in 2 runners with a double, but the late push wasn't enough as the Johnnies fell 5-2. SJU was able to turn things around in Game 2 on Sunday afternoon. After a scoreless first inning, Wesleyan took a 1-0 lead in the bottom of the 2nd inning. The score would stay 1-0 until the Johnnies took the lead with 3 runs in the top of the 6th inning. It all started with a solo home run from who else but Becker. The dinger was his 4th of the season and 3rd in his last 4 games. Junior shortstop Jackson Peter scored what would be the game-winning run off an RBI single from senior first baseman Andrew Malky. The Johnnies would score 1 more in the 6th and add another in the top of the 7th to secure their 2nd win of the trip. Senior pitcher Griffin Larson earned his 2nd win of the season in the victory. The next day, SJU took on Luther College for their final game in Arizona, which they lost 5-4. Senior pitcher Cody Dalen pitched 6 no-hit innings as the starter, striking out 7 and walking 4. His 7 strikeouts moved him to 5th on SJU's all-time strikeout list with 153. Dalen is now 2-0 with a .43 ERA. The Johnnies found themselves up 2-0 heading into the 7th inning, which is where things fell apart. Luther scored 5 runs on 2 hits thanks to 4 walks. 2 of the first 3 runs were scored on wild pitches, and 4 of the 5 overall came with 2 outs. Senior Wyatt Rudolph took the loss in relief of Dalen after allowing 4 runs on 1 hit in .2 innings.
Johnnie Baseball, who are now 8-6 on the year, were supposed to head back out on the diamond this Monday, March 25th, for a doubleheader against Northwestern. But due to inclement weather this weekend, the doubleheader has been moved to Monday, April 15th. On Monday, March 18th, Griffin Larson was named the MIAC Baseball Pitcher of the Week. the third consecutive Johnnie pitcher to earn the honor. The senior from Medina collected the award in the wake of his outstanding 5-strikeout performance against Wesleyan in Game 2 last Sunday, where he allowed just 1 earned run. The Johnnies now have a substantial amount of time until they play again, their next game being a home doubleheader against Bethel on Wednesday, April 3rd. Looking at other Johnnie teams in action, tennis returns to the court against St. Scholastica in Virginia, Minnesota on Saturday at 4 p.m.
That will wrap up this week's Johnnie Bennie Sports Roundup. Good luck to all the Bennies and Johnnies competing this week.
Thanks as always for watching.
Now back to you, Ben and Daisha.
Thanks as always to Brendan and Chloe for delivering the latest updates on Johnnie Bennie sports and activities.
Recently, I had the opportunity to sit down with both Student Senate presidents to delve into the inner workings of Senate life and activities, while also getting to know them on a personal level. This marks the start of our new segment, JBCN, where we'll regularly explore the CSB and SJU Senates, offering a closer look at policy decisions and introducing you to the faces behind the student leadership. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to JBCN. I am your host, Daisha Gray. This is the place where you can get the inside scoop on all things CSB and SJU Student Senate. Today, joining me is President of the SJU Senate, Wes Kirchner, and President of the CSB Senate, Claire Moonen. Welcome, you guys. How are you doing, President Wes?
Thank you for having us. I'm doing very well, and I'm excited to be here.
Yes, and how are you doing, President Claire?
I'm doing really great. Thank you so much for having us. Great day to be a Benny.
Yeah, I am so happy that both of our presidents are in good and well spirits. This means that this is going to be a productive and lovely interview. Thanks again for agreeing to be here. So the first question is, what inspired you to join CSB and SJU Senate? I'll start with you, Wes.
Well, it was my freshman year. I didn't join until spring semester of my freshman year, and it was during COVID, so I was really looking for ways to get involved. And Senate was one of the only groups that was mobilizing at that time. And when a position opened, I was really excited to run. So I went out there, hit the sidewalks with my bags of candy, and got elected. And it's been 3.5 years since then, so it's been a really good time, and it's been a lot of fun.
That's very ambitious for a freshman, Wes. What about you, Claire? Why did you join CSB Senate?
Yeah, of course. So I also joined my freshman year. I believe it was the 3rd week of being on campus. It was COVID 2020. We couldn't really go outside. We couldn't do a lot of things. So I was looking to how to get involved. And as a first-generation student, I went immediately to XPD, and they were like, Senate's this option. So I became a club auditor, and I got to meet all the club leaders that have now blossomed and grown into this great network.
Claire, you mentioned about COVID-19. How did that impact both of your experiences on the Senate, starting Senate during COVID?
Yeah, for sure. So starting Senate during COVID, it was really difficult. We would Zoom for our meetings. I didn't get to see a lot of my counterparts, my coworkers, other senators, face to face until the spring semester, really. Besides passing by, we did a lot of promo for hashtag Mask Up CSB SJU.
Okay.
And so when I would see them, it was with masks on. And yeah, we really did a lot more programming, which hasn't been historically what Senate has had at their core, but people relied on us because at that time, SALD was kind of phasing out, and then SLE hadn't come in yet. So we were kind of the interim programmers.
I see. And what about you, Wes? What was your experience?
Yeah, so COVID really shined a light on the issues that students were facing. And I found during that time to be the most effective we had been at bridging the gap between students and administration. Just the various needs that we were facing, not only the COVID restrictions and COVID guidelines, but issues such as dining, link transportation. That was the time that Senate was really leaned on heavily by the students, and I was proud to be part of that era of Senate. And since then, we've just done our best to continue identifying those needs and being that bridge to administration.
So we know that in any effective organization, there is always some aspects that can be improved upon. What would you both say you would like to see Senate improve in?
So one of the Senate's main priorities is to bridge the gap between administration and the student body. And I think we do a very good job of that as it is. But there's, like you said, there's always room for improvement. So something that I think the St. John's Senate could improve in is creating really positive personal relationships with our administrators. I think if that happens, then we're able to have more productivity and more better working relationships. So that relationship with administration can always grow stronger and should be the priority of any Senate over the years.
And Claire, for the CSB Senate, what would you like to see improved?
Yeah, I would love to see some improvement in, as always, I'd love to see 100% participation in events. We try as best we can. I know everyone has busy schedules, but just like showing up for others, I think we do well in our capacity, but 100% would be the best. I think in regard to what President Kirshner was saying with relationships, calling in students. I can talk to COO, Kara Kolomitz, left and right all day, every day, but the minute someone doesn't know her, I'm like, oh, let me introduce you to. So really kind of like bridging, like we can have a relationship with students, we can have a relationship with administrators, but kind of pulling the students with us, I think, is always the goal.
So we've spoken about some previous events that the Senate has hosted. Are there any upcoming events that the Senate has planned?
Yeah, okay, so I'm so excited for this one. We just approved it last night. We're bringing, along with CERTs, an OBGYN to campus at St. Ben's. It'll be like a Q&A, anonymous questions, and you can win like a wellness basket that has like an Awala water bottle, yoga mat, all that good stuff. And it's part of Women's Month. Something we just planned was an Easter egg hunt where we're gonna hide 250 to 500 eggs, and they have like up to $150 like spread out amongst gift cards. And the biggest prize is a parking pass, and then some bookstore items. So really excited to get those going like as soon as next week, I think.
Yeah, that sounds incredible. I hope that we get a good turnout for those events. And is there anything that the SJU Senate has upcoming?
Yeah, so in the month of April, we're going to be hosting a alumni social in Brother Willie's Pub in efforts to not only activate Brother Willie's Pub, but also connect our juniors and seniors with alumni who may be able to help find jobs, internships, etc. And another big thing that's coming up in the next month is the St. John's Senate elections. So Johnnies, come out and run for Senate.
So as we wrap up, I know that sometimes as leaders, it is hard for the student body to see you beyond just being presidents. So the question that I want to end with is, if there's one thing that you would want people to know about you, what would that be and why?
I love being outside. And I find that being outside is when I can best relax, be reflective, and also build relationships with others. So if anyone wants to go on a hike, canoe, whatever this spring, hit me up. I'd have a lot of fun.
Okay, that sounds good.
Oh, wow. I would say that I am just Claire Moonen. I am just like every single Benny. I don't know my lefts and rights. I make a mean cup of coffee at the Perk.
Okay.
And just say hi to me. Like I love screaming at people across Fireside while I'm whipping up a cup of Joe. I'm not that unapproachable. I'm not that important. Like I'm just Claire Moonen. So that's what I'd end it with.
Okay, so we have President West, who loves outdoors, and we have President Claire, who's just President Claire. I want to thank you both for joining me here today to answer questions, and you guys did so well answering them thoughtfully, answering them with excitement. I really appreciate that. So without further ado, President West, do you have any final remarks?
Yeah, well, as a senior, I am sad to be leaving St. John's, but I am truly hopeful that our younger students will take the leap and take up leadership positions on Senate, in clubs, organizations, student employment jobs across campus. So yeah, please run for Senate, run your clubs and organizations, run your sports teams, take the leap, be a leader, be what Johnnies are meant to be.
And President Claire, any final remarks?
I would just say get out there, get involved. No act is too little, no act is too big. Let your light shine, flourish, be in community, all those buzzwords, they really do take you far. A quote that we really like at the St. Ben Senate is that look around the table and see who doesn't have a chair. And if there's no other chairs left, we're gonna either make one or pull up a folding chair. And on that note, join Senate. We have elections next month. Everybody can be a senator. There's nothing limiting you. You're not a certain major, you're not a certain type of person besides just a Benny.
Thank you, listening audience, for joining JBCN. Once again, I am your host, Daisha Gray, and I hope to see you next week.
Thanks, Daisha, for that incredible production there. It really was phenomenal for you to get to sit down with both Wes and Claire and talk about the futures of the Senate and shed some transparency on what's going inside those chambers. So it's phenomenal stuff, phenomenal reporting, and great for the student body to see what's going on.
Thank you. It was lovely to interview them. They're phenomenal.
Absolutely. And with that, we wrap up another week's edition of Johnnie Bennie Campus News.
We appreciate your viewership. Join us again next week for the latest in-campus updates, noteworthy news, and upcoming events.
Your ongoing support is crucial, so make sure to let your friends know where they can stay up to date with the latest on Johnnie Bennie Campus News. And be sure to check out our Instagram at CSB_SJU_JB Media. As always, I'm Ben Bugby.
And I'm Daisha Gray.
We wish you a wonderful weekend with all this snow, and we'll see you next week.